In the ancient kingdom of Hastinapura, where power was a double-edged sword, destiny whispered secrets in the shadowed halls. The fate of a dynasty rested on the fragile shoulders of three brothers, born under the watchful gaze of gods and curses alike. This is the saga of Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and Vidura, whose lives were intertwined in ways unseen, shaping a war that would echo through eternity. Welcome to the story of the Sons of Destiny. Long before history was written, a war shook the heavens and split the earth. This is the Mahabharata, not just a story, but a cosmic saga of gods, warriors, curses, and fate. A battle between Dharma and Adharma, truth and betrayal, where every choice shapes eternity. Welcome to Dark Whispers, where forgotten legends are brought back to life. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and turn on the bell icon and follow the Whispers of Destiny. The birth of the Dhritarashtra was cloaked in mystery and sorrow. When Queen Ambika closed her eyes at the sight of sage Vyasa, summoned by Queen Satyavati to ensure the royal line continued, the child she bore was cursed from the womb, blind. Some say it was the result of Ambika's fear and shame during Vyasa's presence. Others whispered of a karmic punishment from past lives, of eyes that could not see, but souls that would witness great suffering. Though his body was deprived of sight, the Dhritarashtra's mind remained alert, brimming with ambition and fierce protectiveness over his family. But the laws of Dharma barred a blind woman from kingsmanship, setting a course that would shape the entire kingdom. Not all children born from Vyasa and the queens were blessed with royal status. Parishrami, a maid servant sent by Satyavati in secret, gave birth to Vidura. Though deemed illegitimate in the eyes of the throne, Vidura's birth was a divine gift of wisdom. From childhood, his sharp intellect, unwavering honesty, and profound sense of justice set him apart. He was a beacon of reason amidst court intrigue, often walking a lonely path, respected yet sidelined. Vidura's words would echo through the ages as the conscience of Hastinapura. The second son, Pandu, was born with strength and vitality. His presence was commanding, a prince forged for battle and rule. When the time came to crown the next king, the choice was clear. The Dhritarashtra's blindness made him unfit to rule. Pandu ascended the throne amid grand ceremonies, the throne anointed in gold, the air thick with incense and the chants of priests. Yet beneath the splendor, an invisible shadow began to gather. Pandu's heart and home belonged to two extraordinary women, his wives, whose stories and spirits would forever intertwine with his destiny. Kunti was his first wife, a woman whose soul was rooted in deep spirituality and ancient knowledge. Born as Pritha, she was the adopted daughter of King Kunti, a noble ruler from a neighboring kingdom. Kunti had been raised in a palace where secret teachings, sacred mantras, and divine mysteries were passed down in whispered rites. Her calm, meditative presence concealed a secret, a powerful boon bestowed upon her by a fierce and unpredictable sage Durvasa. This secret would shape the course of her life and those of her children. In contrast stood Madri, a princess from the distant kingdom of Madra, beyond the western mountains. Madri was spirited, regal, her bloodline known for warriors and kings. She possessed a fiery grace, brave, proud, and equal to any warrior in strength and skill. Her marriage to Pandu was not only one of love, but also a vital alliance between kingdoms. Together, Kunti and Madri created a home where strength met wisdom, tradition mingled with divine mystery, and where the future of the Kuru dynasty was quietly taking shape. Long before she became queen, Kunti's life changed forever with a single encounter. When Kunti was a young maiden, long before her marriage, she was visited by the legendary sage Durvasa, a holy man both feared and revered for his fiery temper and his supernatural powers. Durvasa arrived at her father's court, his mood volatile, his divine presence overwhelming. Where others trembled or showed disrespect, Kunti responded with rare kindness and patience, calming the tempestuous sage with her gentle words and respectful demeanor. Impressed by her grace, Durvasa granted Kunti a secret boon, a secret mantra, a divine invocation so powerful that it could summon any god of her choosing. Upon calling a god, she could bear a child by divine intervention, a child born of the gods themselves. But the boon came with grave warnings. To wield such power was a responsibility beyond mere mortals, and its consequences were irreversible. Tempted yet cautious, a young Kunti once tested the mysterious mantra in secret, summoning a radiant divine presence unlike any other. She summoned Suryadeva, the radiant sun god, and from this union a son was born, a boy destined to shine with a brilliance and strength unmatched, a boy with golden earrings and golden armor. But fear and uncertainty shattered Kunti's heart. In a world unkind to secrets such as hers, she was forced to hide this child away, sending him adrift on the river, leaving his fate to the hands of destiny. Though hidden from sight, this boy's story was far from over. His life, woven with secret and silent power, would one day ripple through the very roots of the royal family, a secret waiting to emerge from the depths. Though Pandu was crowned king, his life would soon take a tragic and fateful turn. While hunting one evening, under a pale moonlight filtering through the thick forest canopy, Pandu's arrow flew toward two deer locked in a tender embrace. But these were no ordinary animals. The deer were actually Sage Kindama and his wife, cursed to live as beasts until their penance was complete. Pandu's arrows pierced Kindama's heart, shattering the secret movement. With his dying breath, the sage cursed the king. Because you have killed me while I was united with my wife, you too shall die when you seek pleasure with your lives. The curse was both merciless and immediate. It cast a dark shadow over Pandu's reign, a death sentence that haunted every moment of his life. Broken and terrified, Pandu renounced his throne and retreated into the wilderness, taking his wives, Kunti and Madri, with him. There, far from the palace and power, Pandu wrestled with grief and the cruel fate that barred him from fathering heirs by natural means. But Kunti's divine boon offered hope. One by one she summoned the gods to bear children, the sons who would become the legendary Pandavas, destined to change the course of history. Yudhishthira, the eldest, born from Yama, god of death and righteousness. Yudhishthira would be the embodiment of truth and justice, calm and noble. Bhima, born of Vayudeva, the wind god, a man of tremendous strength and unyielding spirit, a force of nature among mortals. Arjuna, son of Indra, king of the gods, and the master of thunder and war, destined to be the greatest archer the world would know. After Kunti summoned upon these children, Madri was also ecstatic. She also called upon the Ashwini Kumaras, twin gods of healing and speed, who granted her twin sons, Nakula and Sahadeva, renowned for their unmatched beauty, skill, and wisdom, twins bound by divine grace. Thus, the five Pandavas, sons of gods, heirs to a sacred destiny, were born in exile, beneath the sheltering trees and starlit skies of the forests. Years slipped by in the dense forests where Pandu had sought refuge. Exile was a harsh companion, the lush wilderness a stark contrast to the throne he once held. Each day he carried the heavy weight of longing, not just for the kingdom, but for the warmth and companionship of his beloved wives. Despite the ever-present shadow of the curse that clung to him like a silent specter, Pandu's heart yearned for connection, for love. The loneliness of exile was almost unbearable. And then came that fateful day, an impulsive moment when Pandu's desire overcame his fears. In a tender embrace, he reached out to Madhuri, his youthful second wife, whose spirit had burned bright like a flame through their years in the forest. But the curse, cruel and unrelenting, struck without mercy. As their union unfolded, the words of sage Kindama echoed through the air, a chilling decree that Pandu would meet the death the moment he sought pleasures of love. And so it was. Pandu's life slipped away like a fading flame, his breath growing shallow as the forest held its breath and longed for silence. Madhuri, witnessing the death of the man she loved, was overcome by a storm of grief and devotion. In a world where love and duty were bound by sacred vows, she made a choice that would forever etch her name in the name of sacrifice. With unwavering courage, Madhuri embraced the ancient rite of sati, choosing to join her husband in death by immolating herself on his funeral pyre. Her flames were both an act of love and a testament to her steadfast loyalty. Before her final breath, Madhuri entrusted her two young sons, the divine twins Nakula and Sahadeva, to the care and protection of Kunti, the family's unwavering matriarch. This act of sacrifice wove their fates together, a bond of sorrow and strength that would define the coming saga of the Pandavas. The forest, once a refuge, now stood as silent witness to the loss of love and the heavy price of destiny. Back in the palace, Vidura, the youngest brother, watched over the kingdom. Born to a servant woman but wise beyond measure, Vidura was the voice of reason and morality. Though denied the throne, his counsel was invaluable to Dhritarashtra, the blind prince who would one day rule. Vidura stood as the kingdom's silent guardian, warning of the dangers to come. As the flames flickered and the forest whispered its ancient secrets, a silent shadow grew elsewhere in the kingdom, far from the exiled solitude. In the hidden chambers of Hastinapura, a blind king waited, and with him a lineage that would rise in number and ambition. Unseen by many, the seeds of rivalry and fate were quietly taking the root, weaving a web that would soon engulf all in darkness and war. The story of the sons of destiny was far from over, and the storm on the horizon was only the beginning to gather its strength. Stay tuned to Dark Whispers, where you will be finding out about the rivals of the Pandavas, united by blood, divided by shadows yet unseen, a brotherhood fractured before it even begins.